Hi everyone, it's Kelly Kilmer waving hi from Hollywood, California, and I'm having a little bit of a technical issue with my phone and one other thing that it's a long story. Anyway, my phone doesn't do the little flippy thing, so instead of flipping it around, because it won't, hi! I hope that everybody is staying safe and staying sane in their homes, and I just wanted to thank Kylie for putting this together. I think it's a great way to keep us focused on something other than the news, 24/7. So I thought that I would share one of the journal pages that I started working on earlier, where I went in earlier today and I did some collage work. And I showed this on my Instagram and Facebook, and eventually I'm going to have a step-by-step photo work in progress series on my blog. But I did the collage, then I did some painting, and I thought I would show you how I use some of my favorite water-based paint markers to start to color in the tree. So I did the tree a little bit ago using a Stabilo Aquarellable, it's always a mouthful, water-soluble pencil. I love using those. So when you go to use these, you always want to shake it with the cap on, because if not, you're going to wear it. And I only pump the tip when I need to. So I just had gone through and pumped this before, so I'm not going to pump it now. Now, what I like to do with these pens is I'll draw with them, I'll make marks with them, but I also will paint with them. It's one of my favorite things to do with water-based paint markers. I don't like oil-based paint markers. The smell bothers me, but also it over time will eat through your paper. So I've always been an acrylic-based, water-based girl. So see how I'm going in and rubbing and smushing the paint in with my finger, so it starts to come together like that. Then I'll go in and start to do the roots. And I apologize for the handheld camera work. Kylie put this together really well, and I wasn't ready though to teach an online class right at this minute, so I do not have my little handy dandy camera holder, but hopefully you will get the gist of it, me holding it with my hand. So see how I'm going in and rubbing, and how you get that nice smushy, inky, painty look. And it's also smushing and blending the Stabilo pencil in. And I'm not worried about mistakes or anything like that. One of the things that I usually will do is go in and do detail work later on with more of the Stabilo, and also usually with extra fine paint markers. So the nice thing about working with the acrylics and the acrylic paint markers is that they dry really fast. And just like Dina said earlier, I do not like using any kind of heat tools. I've never used a heat tool to dry acrylics. You want to be really careful with that for various reasons. Some people don't like the look of it, but just like she said, once acrylic dries, it's dried plastic. So you don't want to really be heating that with your heat tool. So what I'm going to do now is I want to layer another color on top of that. So I'm going to go in, and the nice thing is, so see how quick it dries, and I usually dry my fingers with a paper towel between colors, but I'm not going to worry about it too much right now. Get some new color going. So see, the trick with working with paint markers like they're acrylics is that you have to work in small areas at a time. I couldn't go over here and do an area and then start over here. I have to go in, smush, and then rub. So one of the things that I like to do is I will take my journal and just like a small amount of paint markers like this and bring them on the road. Or sometimes I go to a lot of movie stuff up the street. Man's Chinese Theater is somewhat within walking distance, and so my husband and I will go to movie premieres and wait for celebrities and get autographs and pictures and goofy stuff like that. But I'll bring my journal with me and some paint markers, and I'll color things in while I'm waiting. And then just like I do with my acrylics, I like to go in and layer. So some people might think, oh, it looks great on the first go, but what happens when you start layering all these different colors on top of each other? Not only do you start to get new color combinations, but you get all these cool different textures coming through and peeking through. So I'm going to give this a second to dry, and while I do that, I'm going to talk to you about some of my favorite paint markers. This is made by Holbein. So if you can see that right there. They make some of the best acrylic on the market, and these come in little bottles, and you just buy their empty paint markers and you refill them, and they're really easy to refill. The thing that you need to know is that all of the colors except for the super opaque white and the super opaque black are transparent. So when you go to use these, you're going to be able to see the colors that are underneath them. They do have a medium that you can mix with the paint markers to make it more opaque. I've bought the medium, but I haven't used it. What I usually will do is I'll put down a layer of white, almost like a gesso or a white acrylic layer, let that dry, and that'll give the surface some tooth so I can go in and put other colors on top of it. So just kind of fun to play around with how you use the paint markers and how you layer them. The other ones that I love the Posca paint markers. That's like the best, or one of the best paint markers on the market. They have a whole bunch of different tip sizes. The quality is really good. They last a really long time. And they also make Posca and Holbein. Holbein with the super opaque white. This is the best white on the market. So when you go to use it, I mean, look at how white that is. I wasn't going to do that, but I did it. So let's see what happens. But it's a nice white, very opaque look to it. So I could go in, put this down. I could actually mix colors too. I love mixing. You'll see a lot of pink. They make this great neon pink, and I'll mix it to get a soft pink. So that's the bright, super opaque white mixed on top of a very dark base coat. Other paint markers I like are the Sharpies. Again, these are all water-based paint markers. And then last but not least, I like the Molotow paint markers. I will not buy these though in the tech tip, the really super fine tips anymore. They just tend to kind of bleh out over time. They dry out. No matter how well you clean them out, you can't get them totally clean. So if I go to buy them, I usually will get them in a 1.5, which looks like that, a 2 or larger. I won't buy them in any tip sizes smaller than that. So this is what the page looks like so far. So the white is dry. I go in and do a little bit more smushing. So one other quick little safety tip. When I go to paint with my fingers, I will put a barrier cream on my hands, and there's different ones that you can use. I don't know what they have available in Australia, but my favorite is called Easy Air Invisible Care, and it's just a great barrier cream. I put it on my hands just like it is hand cream, and then I put more of it on before I go to wash my hands. So see how I can go in and I just keep layering. So the colors, when I go to start painting with my fingers, I do like to read the labels and read what's in the paints that I'm using and the products that I'm using. So as far as paint markers, I will not paint using either the markers or acrylics with either cadmiums, chromiums, cobalts, anything that when you look at the bottle, it might have like a large orange or black X on it. Basically, once those materials get inside of your body, there's no way for them to get out of your body. So I tend to stay away from stuff like that. So see how different it starts to look? So I'm going to let that dry again for a second. So I added a little bit more of the dark brown. Now I'm just going to go over here again with a little bit of the light brown. See how the different textures peek through. So this is how I like to work with my acrylics and my paint markers. I'll go in and I'll keep layering and layering and layering until I get the look that I want. So I will be sharing the process and the finish page eventually on my blog, which is kellykilmer.blogspot.com, and then hopefully tomorrow, over the next few days, I will be sharing some work in progress photos on Instagram and Facebook and Flickr and Twitter and all that stuff that I'm on. So in the meantime, again, thank you, Kylie, for putting this together. Thank you guys for watching. Sorry if I'm a little off. I think like most of you guys, you know, I'm going on not a whole lot of sleep lately. The last week has been really hard. So I just hope that you guys are all staying safe, staying healthy, and, you know, stay inside. Not just for yourself, but for everybody. So I'll see you on the internet. Thanks. Bye.